Alright, inshallah, we'll open up, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم أما بعد. We begin by saying, A'udhu billahi min shaitan rajim. We always seek refuge in Allah subhanahu from shaitan and curse because Allah subhanahu says, Innahu lakum aduwwun mubin, for verily he is for you an avowed enemy. Shaitan, his ultimate goal is to try to take us off the Sirat al-Mustaqim. So we say, A'udhu billahi min shaitan rajim. We also say, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful God, for truly and verily all praise is due to him. We praise him and seek only his help and his forgiveness. And we also seek refuge in Allah from the evil of our nafs, which is our carnal desires. Allah said that the carnal desires or your nafs, it is inclined to do su, it is inclined to do evil except by the rahmah of Allah. We obtain Allah's rahmah by obedience to him, obedience to the Quran, and obedience to the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We also seek refuge in Allah from the evil of our actions, those things that are not in accordance to the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Those whom Allah wills to be guided to Islam, which is submission, no one can lead astray. And those whom Allah wills to be misguided off the Sirat al-Mustaqim, no one can guide. We bear witness that there is no God but Allah, the one God who has no partners. And we bear witness that Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his slave, his messenger, Amma Ba'd. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that verily the best speech, the best hadith is the speech of Allah in the Quran, and the best guidance is the guidance of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in the Sunnah. And the worst of all matters are those things that are innovated by the people, for all innovation leads to bid'ah, all bid'ah leads to dalala, which is going off the Sirat al-Mustaqim, going off the path of submission, and all dalala is in the nar, which is the fire. So we seek refuge in Allah from that nar. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Oh Allah, give us good in this life. Oh Allah, give us good in the next life, and save us from the punishment of the fire, Ya Allah. Ameen. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Today's taleem, today's application of knowledge, or today's seeking of knowledge, is the subject matter of Islam and submission. Today's subject matter is Islam and submission. What is Islam? What does it mean to submit? What does it mean to be a Muslim? There's a hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that we're told that when a person dies, when a person is put into the grave, right, and his soul goes to the heavens, it comes back down. Then there are two angels that will come and visit him in the grave. He will be made to sit up. Okay, Munkar and Nakir. There's two angels. And they come and they ask you certain questions. And one of the questions is, who is your Lord? Right? The other question is, what is your Deen? Right? And who is your prophet? Okay? So the first question is, who is your Lord? And we know that Allah says that he is our Lord. And we were asked even before we came into existence, am I not your Lord? And we said, Bala. We said, yes. We bear witness against this. So in the day of judgment, we won't be of those who are the heedless ones. So we understand that Allah is our Lord. So there'll be three questions that we have to answer when we're standing or we're raised up in the grave. We're made to sit up in the grave. And we're asking three questions. If we answer these questions right, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, our grave will expand to the length of our eyesight. We'll be blessed with certain blessings and gifts and foods while in the grave. Our good deeds will be made our companions in the grave. So forth. So there's many beautiful things that happen when we answer this question. But if we answer the question wrong, we're told that the angel will hit us on top of the head, or hit that person, not us, inshallah, will hit that person on top of the head with a mallet, right? The angel will hit this person on top of the head with a mallet if he answers any one of these questions wrong. And we're told in another hadith that if the angel were to hit this mallet on the earth, one time it will crack the earth in half. That's how hard this mallet is. And the one that gets hit with this mallet, everything other than men and jinn can hear the screaming and the yelling of the person who gets hit with this mallet. So we seek refuge in Allah for getting hit with that mallet. Okay, so there's three questions that were asked. One, who is your Lord? Allah is our Lord. What is your Deen? And that's what we're talking about today, Islam. Islam is our Deen. This is the answer that we have to answer. Islam is the Deen. It's been the Deen. It has been the religion. It has been the way of life. It has been the debt or the transaction that we all have to pay back. And this goes all the way back to Ibrahim alayhi salam, right? And who was your prophet? And because we live in the era of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we would say Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So those three questions: who is your Lord? Allah. What is your Deen? Which is the subject matter of today, Islam, right? Islam is our Deen. And number three, who is that man or who is our prophet? It's Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because we live in the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So where we're going to our dalil, inshallah. Our first dalil with regards to Islam being our Deen. Right, we talk about what is your Deen? The Deen is Islam. How do we know Islam is our Deen? Where's our proof to this? Where's our evidence to this? Why do we say this? So we go to chapter 5, verse 3. Chapter 5, verse 3. Again, this is our dalil, right? Highlight it, asterisk it, underline it. Okay, inshallah. Allah chose Islam as our Deen. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Al-yawma akmaltu lakum deenakum. Said this day, right, I have completed for you your Deen. This day I have completed for you your Deen. Wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati, and I have perfected, right, my favor upon you. Wa raditu lakum, and I am pleased with you as al-Islam Deena, and I am pleased with you for choosing for you Islam as your Deen. Right? So Allah says, this day, right, I have completed for you your Deen. I have completed for you your Deen. Right? Islam has been made perfect. It has been made complete. Right? We had all these 120,000 prophets, and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the last prophet. So he has completed the message. He has made it complete. Right? This day I have completed for you your Deen, and I have perfected upon you my ni'mah, my favor. Right? Remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said way back in the day, right, when he created Adam and Eve and whatnot, and all that would happen with Shaitan, he said, but I will send when there comes to them from me a huda, when there comes to me a guidance. Right? This is that ni'mah. This is that bounty. If Allah bestows his guidance upon you, right, you'll have no fear or no grief. Right? So he said, I have perfected for you my ni'mah, my bounty upon you, and I am pleased with you as Islam as your Deen. So Allah said that Islam is our Deen. Right? So when we ask that question, what is your Deen? Allah says that Islam is our Deen. Okay? So again, Islam is our Deen, and the word Deen, it comes from the word Deen, right? Which means debt. So Islam is that which you pay back in your debt to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? When we talk about Surah Al-Fatiha, we say, Ihdina siratal mustaqim, siratal ladina an'amta alayhim. Right? We also talk about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Right? Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. He is what? Maliki Yawmiddin. He is the king, the authority on the day of Deen. Yawmiddin. Right? He said this is the day of Deen. Right? So this is the day that we pay back what? Our debt. This is the day that we stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we pay back our debt. Our debt is what? Islam. Right? Islam is our Deen. This is what we pay back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Islam means to submit. So that which we pay back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our submission. He doesn't care about money. Right? He don't care about your looks. He don't care about nothing that's material. He's al-Ghani. He's not in need of anything. The only thing that he wants us to pay back is Islam as our Deen. Our debt is Islam. Our debt is submission. Okay? So again, Islam is our Deen. Not only is it our Deen, it's the Deen of all the prophets of old. Islam is the religion, it is the way, it is the debt that everybody pays back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it goes all the way back to Ibrahim alayhi salam. We go to chapter 2, verse 127 and 128. Verse 127 and 128. In this ayah, it's talking about Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismaaeel alayhi salam when they're building the Kaaba. Right? We're told that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that Ibrahim alayhi salam and his son Ismaaeel alayhi salam, his firstborn son, right, who was the son of Haajar, who was the African sister from Egypt. It said that she was jet black with kinky hair. So the mother of Ismaaeel alayhi salam, she was Haajar, she was jet black with kinky hair, right? This is in the Hadith. So when Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismaaeel alayhi salam, they were building the foundations of the Kaaba, we're told that they made this dua. Okay, this is Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 127 and 128. Again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said He perfected for us and chose it for us. Islam is our Deen. Right? Now we're going to prove that all the prophets were Muslims, that Islam was the way of all the prophets of old. Okay? So 127 through 128, Allah says that Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismaaeel alayhi salam, that when they were building Kaaba, the first house of worship for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one God, they were saying, Rabbana waja'alna muslimaini laka wa min dhurriyyatina ummatan muslimatan. ربنا وجعلنا مسلمين لك ومن ذريتنا أمة مسلمة لك. So they said, when they were making the foundations of the Kaaba, Ismaaeel alayhi salam and Ibrahim alayhi salam, they both said, Rabbana, our Lord, waja'alna, make us Muslimain, make us both Muslims to you, make us both of those who submit to you. Make us Muslim. Okay? وَمِن ذُرِّيَّتِنَا, and from our progeny, or from our children, ummatan muslima, a Muslim ummah to you. Make us a submissive ummah, a Muslim ummah, right? From our progeny, make a Muslim ummah that is submissive to you. So make us Muslims, and from our progeny, make them a Muslim nation. Okay? So this is the dua of not only Ibrahim alayhi salam, but of Ismaaeel alayhi salam. So they both make this dua. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, oh Allah, make me a Muslim, make me submissive. Ismaaeel alayhi salam was saying the same thing, oh Allah, make me Muslim, from our progeny Muslim. So all the children that Ibrahim alayhi salam had, he made dua that they become Muslim. All the children that Ismaaeel alayhi salam, they make dua, right, as well for Ismaaeel alayhi salam, for all his descendants to be Muslims as well. And we know through the lineage of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that Ismaaeel alayhi salam is the father of the Arabs, and through this lineage came the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this dua of the progeny of these prophets to be Muslim, it was heard by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So through Ibrahim alayhi salam and through Ismaaeel alayhi salam, they made dua for them to be Muslim, and from their progeny and from their children to be Muslims. So we say, what is our Deen? We say our Deen is Islam. Islam is not something new. Islam is something that's been all the way to the back to the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to the time of Ibrahim alayhi salam, to the time of Ismaaeel alayhi salam, as well as all the other prophets, as we'll see, inshallah. So that's why we say we Muslims, because all the prophets were Muslim. We're going to another ayah, chapter 2, verse 133. Chapter 2, verse 133. Again, this is our dalil, this is our proof as to what it is that we're talking about, that Islam is the religion of all the prophets. We just learned, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, chapter 5, verse 3. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that He has perfected and chosen for us Islam as our Deen. He's pleased with us to have Islam as our Deen. He has perfected it for us through the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then we just learned in the other previous ayahs that Ismaaeel alayhi salam and Ibrahim alayhi salam, when they were building the Kaaba, right, when they were building the first house of worship for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right, that they too were making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, bless us to be Muslim, oh Allah, make us Muslims, and from our progeny, a Muslim nation, submitting to you. Make them Muslim as well. So now we're in chapter 2, verse 133, where we're talking about Ibrahim, Ismaaeel, and Ishaq. Now remember, Ibrahim alayhi salam, he had two sons, right? He had Ismaaeel alayhi salam from Haajar, right, who was the jet black woman from Egypt with kinky hair. So she had an afro, right? She had kinky textured hair, and she was jet black, right? She was the mother of Ismaaeel alayhi salam, right? So we have this lineage. Then we have Ishaq, which was the son of Sarah, which we have another lineage. Both of them were Semitic, they're cousins, right? But two different lineage. We have a Hebrew lineage and an Arab lineage, or should we say a Jewish lineage, right? And a Muslim lineage, right? But all of them were Muslim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. But we have two sons, two different lineages, Ismaaeel, Ibrahim alayhi salam, and Ishaq alayhi salam. Okay, so chapter 2, verse 133, Allah saying, we're told in this ayat that Allah is telling us about something that happened. He said, were you witness when Yaqub, were you witnesses when death approached Yaqub or Jacob, right? And so we know that Jacob was the father of the 12 tribes, right? Jacob was the father. So we go to chapter 2, verse 133. right? It says, or were you witnesses when death approached Jacob, right? And Jacob was the son of Ishaq. Okay, so we have Sarah, Ibrahim, right? Then we have Ishaq. Then the son of Ishaq, or the son of Isaac, was Jacob. Also, the name of Jacob is Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, right? Meaning the 12 sons. Okay, so Allah says, were you witnesses when death approached Jacob, right? And he called all of his sons. He said, "Oh, my sons, Allah has chosen for you the true religion." Right? Allahu astafa lakum deena. Allah has chosen for you a deen. So Jacob is talking to all his 12 sons. Right? Now he's the son of Ishaq. Right? So he's talking to all his 12 tribes, or all his 12 sons. And he said, Allah astafa lakum deena. Allah has chosen for you your deen. فَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. And do not die except as Muslims. Okay? So if we go back to verse 132. Instead of 133, we go to 132. Starting at 132 and 133, they both go together. It says, and this submission to Allah, Islam, was enjoined by Ibrahim alayhi salam upon his sons and by Jacob. Right? So Allah says, and this instruction of Islam, وَوَصَّى بِهَا إِبْرَاهِيمَ بَنِيهِ وَيَعْقُوبَ. And so Ibrahim and Jacob, they both instructed, right, their sons with this proclamation, saying, "O my sons, Allah has chosen for you the true religion. Then die not except as those who submit in Islam. وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ." So Allah said that Ibrahim alayhi salam, he instructed his sons, and Yaqub alayhi salam, which is Israel or Jacob, he instructed his sons too, right? That Allah has chosen for them a deen, right? And he told them do not die except as Muslims. Now we go to verse 133. It says, and were you witnesses when death approached Jacob, when he said unto his sons, what will you worship after me? So we're told that when Jacob was dying, or Yaqub or Israel, when he was dying, he called all of his 12 sons, and he asked them, what will you worship after me? They said, we shall worship your God, the God of your fathers, Ibrahim, Ismaaeel, and Ishaq, the one God, and to him we submit in Islam. So it says that Yaqub alayhi salam, he asked his sons, مَا تَعْبُدُونَ مِن بَعْدِي. What is it that you will worship? مَا تَعْبُدُونَ مِن بَعْدِي. What will you worship after me? So he's talking to his 12 sons. He's asking them a question, right? He's asking them a question, but at the same time, he's trying to get clarity as to what it is that they will worship after him. He's on his deathbed. He's going to die. So these are my last instructions for you. مَا تَعْبُدُونَ مِن بَعْدِي. What is it that you will worship after me? قَالُوا نَعْبُدُ إِلَهَكَ. They said, we will worship your God. Talking to Jacob, who was a God, right? وَإِلَهَ آبَائِكَ, and the God of your father, right? Who was the father of Yaqub? It was Ishaq, right? Ibrahim, now he's going through the lineage, right? His grandfather, great-grandfather, right? Ibrahim, the God of Ibrahim, Ismaaeel, the God of Ismaaeel, Ishaq, right? Now we're talking about Ishaq as well, which was Isaac, right? The first one we talked about, Allah said he chose the Deen. The second ayat that we talked about was Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismaaeel alayhi salam. They were building a Kaaba, asking Allah to bless them to be Muslim, from their progeny, a Muslim nation. And now we're talking about Yaqub, which is Jacob, right? Israel, he has the 12 sons. And we're talking about Ishaq, right? The God of Ishaq, because all of them worship the one God, right? مَا تَعْبُدُونَ مِن بَعْدِي. What is it that you will worship after me? قَالُوا نَعْبُدُ إِلَهَكَ. We will worship your God. وَإِلَهَ آبَائِكَ. And we will worship the God of your father, the God of Ibrahim, the God of Ismaaeel, and the God of Ishaq, because they all follow the same God. إِلَهَ وَاحِدًا. One God. وَنَحْنُ لَهُ مُسْلِمُونَ. And unto him we are Muslims. So Allah said that when Jacob asked his sons, what is it that you worship after me? They said that we would worship one God, the God of your father, the God of the father, the God of your father, right? The God of Ibrahim, the God of Ismaaeel, the God of Isaac, right? And they said, and we will be to him of the Muslimin. So all the 12 tribes, all the 12 sons of Jacob, they all bore witness in one God, and they said that they'll be of the Muslimin. So this is a reality. We understand that Ibrahim was a Muslim. We understand that Ismaaeel was a Muslim. We understand that Ishaq, Isaac, was a Muslim. And we understand that Yaqub, that before he died, right, he asked all of the 12 sons or the 12 tribes of Jacob, right? They said that they were Muslims, right? And to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that they submit. So this is a reality. We believe that all the prophets are Muslims, right? All the 12 tribes were Muslims. We believe that Ibrahim was Muslim, right? Ismaaeel was Muslim. Isaac was Muslim. All the prophets were Muslim, right? So again, going back to our question, when we stand before the angels and they raise us in the grave, when we sit up and they ask us these three questions, right? Who is your Lord? We already go witness to that Allah is our Lord. So we say Allah is Allah. What is your Deen? Our Deen is Islam. This is the religion of all the prophets. This is the religion of submission. This is the religion of paying back our debt, our submission to Allah on the day of judgment, because He's Maliki Yawm Deen. Right? He is the master authority on the day that we pay back our debt. This is the day of judgment. This is what it's all about. Because He created us to do what? To worship Him. Right? What is it? What is it that you will worship? Why are we created? To worship Allah. Who are they going to worship? The one God. وَنَحْنُ لَهُ مُسْلِمُونَ. We worship the one God. And to Him, we are those who are the Muslimin, which means those who submit to the commandment of Allah. Okay?